I just bought and traded for a bunch of consoles. Some are for the collection, some are for conventions. As I'm getting ready to retire, one thing I want to do is drive around to different states and go to more conventions, meet more people. It's a good time. So some of these consoles I got to build up my inventory for conventions. I didn't get these consoles for reseller prices, not like 50 or 60% what a normal reseller would give for them. In fact, I'd be lucky to pay off a booth at a convention with any profit I was able to make off of them. But it just gives me inventory on top of everything else I have. But anyways, let's check them out.
This one's box only, nothing, no styrofoam.
No styrofoam.
Yeah, that's always the hardest part to me is the ones that are no styrofoam. Like, they look good just sitting on the wall, but you can't ever complete
Well,
it.
it has some styrofoam in it, just not the top pad.
Oh.
What are you trying to keep out of like, for
I'm
your
thinking
collection?
right now what I'm going to keep is just one from each gen, so probably this, this, and this. I guess all the biggest ones.
Killer Instinct.
And maybe a SNES Junior, maybe that, I don't know. It just depends, man, what it's worth, what you want to do with it.
Okay.
Like this one, I don't even have the game pack inside. I think everything else is in here but the game pack. And I've just been thinking I would find one cheap eventually because it's such a common game, so I really haven't sought one out.
No letting this one go, huh?
I mean, we looked at the price last time, and I just, what it's worth and what I feel like you're going to offer me for it, I just don't want to let it go for $200, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think it is fully complete. The power pad's inside the box, which is inside, you know, like it came in a box, it went in that box. I mean, we can get it out and look at it. I'm not opposed to letting it go totally.
My goal is to have all 677 games complete in box, right?
Yeah.
So, Mario Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet doesn't have a box.
Okay.
But it does. It
Only
has this box.
Okay.
So
I don't think
to
that
have
box
game-
is in there, so you'll have to see.
No, it doesn't have a box. This is a box. So to have this game complete in box, I need this console variant. If that makes sense.
I mean, you're crazy, but
I know.
anything above that's kind of, I don't know, I wish they had a better than 100% or something. You know, I wish they had a better terminology for complete in box, because I'm still kind of like cartridge, instruction manual, and box are kind of my you know, that's what I consider complete. Do you know what came with them? With these?
Oh yeah, so these are gonna be a lot of your Nintendo ones, some of the newer black box games, I believe. I have a bunch of these ones.
I guess that goes with the actual control deck over there. Dude, I had so many at one point. I probably had 1,000 manuals at one point. I just bulk sold them to that retro video game store over there in Hot Springs because I really didn't have. I like went so long without finding any boxes where I needed them, and so I was finally like, well, I'm not keeping all these other jobs I need down there. I guess probably the same thing this one too.
Probably a Turtles game, and I would assume that you have this, that it probably belongs with Turtles, being it's Ultra.
So on some of them, I'm real bad about sliding manuals in to like boxes, like without taking them down. So just kind of like pulling it back and just kind of like pushing it in there is like a placeholder to not have to like lose it. Because at one point I was having a hard time keeping up because like I told you I had so many manuals. So I stopped wanting to continue to stack them all up in drawers, and I ended up putting them inside the boxes I thought they could correspond with, and thought one day I would go back through and reorganize. And then I also thought, like, I kept thinking, like, I'll buy the box protectors at some point because, you know, it's kind of like goofing a little bit there. Like, I think the box protector would hold it better formed.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something with these Wii U's, but I'm afraid I'm too late. I'm afraid I'm gonna pull them down. They're not going to work because I heard there's something about if you hadn't turned them on or plugged them up in so long.
Wii U's?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the battery in them sucks.
Oh man, they got a Wavebird in there?
Is that a Wavebird?
Yeah. Oh, it's a fake one. Yeah. Okay. It's got the setup.
Yeah, it's got the receiver for it. Oh. I've never seen a knockoff Wavebird before.
Yeah, I had one at one time. I sold another one to Andy in the group, and he couldn't get it to work, and I had used it at one point, or I swore, so maybe that's where, I bet, I need to tell him that, because I told him, I was like, man, I'm sorry, I swear I used that thing and it worked at one point, but now that I'm seeing this, I bet I used this one because it has the matching receiver and everything with it in the box. So yeah. I bet I told him that, you know, like, hey, this works, and then I somehow ended up with two because I had another one and I just ended up letting him keep it, and I gave him his money back because I was like, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, you know, I wasn't trying to beat you or nothing, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll give you Contra Force with the cart for the rest of all your NES. Because Contra Force is that good of a game.
That's a solid offer. I'll think about it while we look through the rest of the stuff.
Right, so this has controllers, no power cable. Oh, it's under the console too, because sometimes the instructions are under there. Yeah, see, this has zapper instructions.
Yeah, most of these consoles came early into my collection because I was a lot more big on vinyl back then.
Yeah.
And I found a lot more garage sales back then.
Makes sense.
But not.
You have the Lone Ranger?
I do have the game loose. Oh, yeah. This is a loose box.
Well, now it has the manual in it. The manual's rough and the card is separate. Because what I was trying to do on eBay is sell the box by itself, because the box will be...
I'd be interested in the box by itself because I have the cartridge, I think.
It's the manual. Just got a sticker on it, doesn't it?
Kind of stuff doesn't run, like I said. I'm more of a price guy. It's got a little water damage and stuff, but I mean, yeah, that's a clean cartridge. Is this a good game, you know?
It's decent. It's not terrible.
Tommy Laser Scope Voice Command Optical Targeting Headset.
Here it is. Of course, the cartridges were the exact same condition. So the other one I got from you has a crease going along here, and the box is all wavy from like water damage or something.
You think you'll be able to get it out?
I might be able to flatten it out. That crease is going to be there in the other one.
Well, dude, I'll tell you.
I mean, I'll be able to flatten it out.
A lot of this stuff I got, the guy I got it from, it came out of a basement. This box right here was inside of a barn for 30 years. Just thrown in a pile of stuff in a barn. When I pulled it out, it was just covered in dust from a barn. I couldn't believe, I never thought I'd find a Neo Geo AES Gold System box laying in a barn covered in dust. Yeah, I'm down to make a trade on it if you want to do something on the Contra Force and the Lone Ranger.
We'll value that at $300. I know I got that mine from you for $400, but
yeah, I'm fine with that.
This one does have the more wear and everything.
Yeah, I saw you posting in the group and I almost messaged you about it because I was like, man, might as well get another one back. I mean, you know, the price seems right. He's discounted it, you know, reasonably, and so probably those two.
Okay. We can do for both $400 value.
Okay, let's do that then. Do you need any of those manuals that I pulled out? Or?
I do.
I know most of them are low end. There's really nothing cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're interested in it, but I got a loose Super Spy Hunter the other day. Yeah, they have regular Spy Hunter. It's like a $5 game, but Super Spy Hunter was the sequel. It's like a $70 game.
Yeah.
And I picked it up. They had it priced for Spy Hunter price.
Whoa.
At a pawn shop. And this pawn shop actually sold on eBay because I went in there and they had a ton of games. And I started looking around and I started asking, and they showed me all of their, like, this is our inventory system. It was literally just eBay. I was like, okay. So I was looking at all their listings and like, well, you know, they had some good boxes, man. They had uninvited, box only and stuff. I think they offered it to me for $120 box only, which was, you know, okay for the condition it was in, but I just couldn't make a deal with them on it. And then I walked over to their case and they had Super Spy Hunter, and I saw on the end it was just $5. Well, I know that's like a $30 game. At least the last time I bought it was $30 because I already had it. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And when I got it out, when I got home, I looked it up. And now it's going for like 65 or 70 bucks, I think.
This one I would keep for myself.
That's pretty nice.
I sold I traded mine for Mega Man 5.
Oh, nice.
My only Super Nintendo console I traded for Mega Man 5.
I mean,
so I definitely need another Super.
Everybody wants the Nintendo stuff, you know. We're in Arkansas. It's a Nintendo state by far.
So this one here No styrofoam.
Yeah.
Well, it has styrofoam, but not the correct
Yeah, it's just kind of makeshift, right?
Console only.
Yeah.
How much?
I'm thinking like 120.
120?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay, cool.
And this one here, it's nice, missing controllers, but it does have the styrofoam, has a manual and everything.
Yeah. It, you know, I think 200 is good on that one. You okay with that?
Yeah, 200.
Okay.
All right. So I'll take those.
This
This
one
one,
the questionable one, yeah.
yeah, I think we're
Probably too far apart.
we're gonna be too far apart on this one. I
Man,
really
where are
want
you at
this.
on it? What is your number on it?
200 would be me being generous, and you're like, if it's 200.
Yeah, 200 is kind of like my absolute bottom to even consider. So
Yeah, because there's actual sold listings for 150 less on this.
yeah,
And this one is missing the manual and everything else.
I know it.
So,
Just that one's near and dear to me. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a hard.
and I don't like to take anything that's near and dear.
Yeah, like I told you, I kind of wanted to stick with one console from each gen, at least the ones I'm going to keep. So I want one Super, one regular, and one 64. So
Yeah. All right.
that
Console
one,
with box. Box is rough, no manual.
the third-party Wave Bird. So
There's-
I
yeah,
don't know if that
third-party
is
Wave
good or bad or what. I really have no clue if that
Probably
adds or
not.
decreases in value. I'd assume it's almost just like a net zero between having a regular first party versus having a wireless third party. I would
Yeah.
think they're probably similar. What about like 120 too much on that one as well?
I was more like around 75.
Okay. Yeah. I think one's kind of more low on that. So
How about we'll make it 80 and we'll call it the 400.
all right.
for
So
the-
we do those three and we'll do that on the trade. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So these three for trade for
Uh-huh.
the
For the
for Contra Force,
yes.
box and manual,
Uh,
box and game,
yes.
and then Lone Ranger box and manual.
Yes.
Okay.
Deal. Okay,
Cool.
so that'll set us straight there. I don't want you to get home and be surprised. If you want to plug it in, we can plug it in and see that
Yeah,
it works.
we'll plug it in before. I
Okay,
leave.
let's do that then.
For the
And
GameCube.
yeah, I just don't want you to. I don't want you to get home and feel like
Yeah.
I beat you again because I'm full disclosure. None of this has been off the shelf in years.
Yeah.
So you're the
understand,
first
too.
one pulling it down. It's probably got dust on there that's 7 years old. So
Did you say 150 on this SNES? So that would make this 300 for these three.
got 150 and 150. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
300 for those.
Earthbound.
Yeah, that was the last big pickup I did. Well, that and the X3 I got down
That
there.
box does look pretty good. NES consoles. Thinking. $150 for the empty box in that one there.
What did we say earlier? I don't even remember. Was that?
I think I was on
120.
40. I was on 40 on the empty box, and you said 120 on this.
Yeah. So you're up to do. Make me in the middle at 160 on them. That's me coming down $10 and you coming up $10 from the original price because it was one. I was going to do 120 and 50, which would have been 170.
Can I bundle the manuals in there for the 160?
All right, man. You're a hard
Appreciate
bargain.
It's kind of natural.
Yeah.
This is how I always. I'm natural.
I get it.
this
I get
way.
it. I don't have any need for those manuals, man.
Some guy. Did I tell you this story last time? Some guy was listing these boxes. He like normally sells DVDs and stuff. And I watch like for all the NES games I don't have, the high-end ones. And all of a sudden I saw a notification that somebody listed Bucky O'Hare. So I go look at it. Bucky O'Hare, box only, $10. I'm like, what? Click on it, sold. So then I like go to seller's other items. He's got like another nice box, $10 sold.
Just
And I was like, all right. So I kept refreshing the page. Sure enough, he lists Simpsons, Bart's versus the Space Mutants, and like it was like $10. And like I immediately went through and like did everything, sold. Like somebody else was watching him too.
Dude, no,
as he was listening.
They run. I fully believe that people run bots on eBay that buy stuff like that.
All right, let's check out the consoles I got. The first one up is this Nintendo NES console. This is 100% complete in box. It has the foam, the console, it all works and everything. Has the controllers, the game in it, and it's really good shape, and this one cost me $110, so not too shabby. Alright, the next one up is another Nintendo NES console. This one, the box isn't as in good of condition. It was just the box and half the styrofoam was in there, and I put my own console in there and controllers and video game and all that. And I think this one did have the instructions too. So just to help sell a console at a convention, I bought the box only for one. Up next is another Nintendo NES, and this one will probably be staying in my personal collection. Not 100% sure yet. This is one that came with the complete in box Mario Brothers. Now this one didn't have it, but everything inside this box is in excellent shape. This is a really nice condition complete in box, and I will get the game to put in there too if I do decide to fully keep it. Up next is a SNES Junior. Now this is just the box and the console. There's no controller, and I think it has the AV cords in there. It's fully functional and everything, but this one I'm gonna end up selling at a convention because I got this copy, which is really nice, and it has its styrofoam, complete in box and everything. It is missing the manual actually, so I will need to get a manual. But this is a really nice console, and I'll be adding this one to the collection. Up next is another Super Nintendo console. This is just the control deck with the controller. It's in great shape. This one I probably paid a little bit much for, $200. It was trade though. I didn't actually pay cash for this. It was just $200 in trade value. So up next is another Super Nintendo console, and this one is staying in my collection most likely. This is really great shape and has everything in there, fully functional. I traded my complete in box SNES for Mega Man 5, as I said earlier in the video. So I'm happy to have another Super Nintendo in great shape back in the collection like my other one was. Up next, we have a basic N64 console, and I actually don't have a complete in box N64 in my collection, so this one is probably gonna stay. I'm not sure yet. Up next is another Nintendo 64 console. This one came with the Atomic Purple controller, and this was just the box, the foam, and it did have the Atomic Purple controller in there, and it has a really tight stick. It's in really excellent shape. But there is no console or cords or anything like that. But most likely I'll be taking this one to a convention after I put it in N64 and stuff in there. Not 100% sure yet. That's the problem with being a collector, is because I want to keep a lot of this stuff rather than sell it. Last but not least is a Nintendo GameCube. Now the box on this is pretty rough, but the console's in excellent shape. It's not yellowed or anything like that. It has all its cords in there, it's fully functional. This will be my personal copy to actually play and test on, because I don't actually own a GameCube other than this anymore, because all my GameCube stuff fell victim to the Super Nintendo collection. So it was a deal that benefited both of us. Basically, he wanted to get rid of all these consoles, and I was able to give him more than if he sold them on eBay, had to pay eBay fees, had to pay shipping for those big consoles, and I was able to get them cheaper than if I had bought them on eBay and then had to pay taxes and stuff like that. So it worked out for the both of us. So the plan was to sell about half those consoles, but they're all variants with the exception of the two NES boxes, which I already had that version anyway. All the other ones are variant, and the collector in me really wants to just hang on to most of it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for sure yet. And the two games I traded for these consoles were duplicates from that huge NES lot I just got in last video. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more videos like this. Until next time, I'm Gamer Wayne, and thanks for watching.